Okay, so Argentina and Peru,
Yeah.
right? Big World Cup qualifier. Messi's back from injury. Everybody's watching. You guys sent in a ton of articles about this match. And it seems like there's more to this than just the final score.
Yeah, this one was interesting. Like on paper, you've got Argentina, the reigning champs, trying to do what they do best, keep possession and kind of just like dictate the pace. But Peru, they've really upped their game defensively, disciplined, organized, waiting for those counterattacks, you know.
So it was a real clash of styles right from the start. Some of the articles called the first half a bit of a snooze fest, though.
Yeah.
Was it actually that boring?
I wouldn't say boring. It was more like a chess match. Argentina's midfielders, McAllister, Fernandez, DePaul, they were trying to pick apart Peru's defense. But Peru, they stayed compact. Deep, narrow, hard to break down.
So basically they parked the bus. But surely Argentina had some decent chances,
Yeah.
especially with Messi back in the lineup.
Yeah, but even Messi was having trouble. You got to remember, he's coming off an injury. Might not be fully fit yet. He had that free kick early on, went just over.
Yeah, right.
And Peru wasn't just sitting back the whole time either. That Carrillo guy on the wing, he's lightning fast, almost set up Guerrero for a goal.
So even though it was goalless at halftime, there was still that tension, that feeling like either team could strike at any moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The first half was all about setting the stage for the drama that was about to unfold.
Okay, so let's talk about that second half then. Sounds like things really opened up after the break.
Oh yeah, things got interesting. Both teams knew they needed a result. Argentina started taking more risks, pushing higher, and that gave Peru more space to counterattack.
Yeah, one of the articles mentioned Lautaro Martínez had a golden opportunity early in the second half. Did he just completely miss?
It wasn't a sitter or anything, but Galice, Peru's goalkeeper, made a fantastic save. I mean, Martinez hit it well, but Galice somehow got a hand to it.
So he kept them in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Did the article say anything about his overall performance? Or was he just lucky on a couple of saves?
You know, he was outstanding all game. Really impressive, saves great positioning, and his leadership was clear. You know, you could see him organizing the defense, gave the whole team confidence even under pressure. Galiz honestly deserves to be mentioned among the best keepers in the world right now.
Wow, high praise. Okay, so we've got Argentina pushing for a goal, Peru holding strong, hoping to catch them on the break. Did either team come close before Argentina finally scored?
Well, actually, Peru almost took the lead. They launched this incredible counterattack. Carrillo, again, with his speed, just tore through Argentina's defense. He passed it to Yotun, who had a clear shot.
Oh, no, don't tell me he missed.
He hit the crossbar. I mean, it was so close.
Man, that would change the whole game. So how did Argentina react? Did they panic or did they step it up?
It definitely felt like the pressure was mounting. They knew time was running out. And then finally, in the 78th minute, they broke through.
Okay, tell me about the goal. Was it Messi magic or did someone else step up?
It was a team effort, for sure. But Messi was involved, as you might expect. He got the ball in midfield, drew in a couple of defenders, then played this perfect pass to Alvarez, who made a great run. And Alvarez crossed it first time to Martinez.
And he scored.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful finish. Low and hard into the corner. No chance for gutties.
So Argentina wins. They're top of the group. Everything's great, right? But the articles you sent over, there's this sense of like underlying concern. What was that all about?
That's where the analysis gets interesting, because a lot of the focus was on Argentina's reliance on Messi.
Really? Even in a game where he set up the winning goal, didn't other players contribute?
They did, but the question is, did the other attackers hesitate too much? Were they waiting for Messi to do something brilliant instead of taking their own chances?
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Like even when he's not at his best, Messi's presence can overshadow everyone else. But we'll dig into that a bit more later. First, let's talk about the players who stood out and what their performances tell us.
Let's start with Lautaro Martínez. Okay, maybe he wasn't the most flashy player on the pitch, but his movement was so good all game. Those runs he was making behind the defense constantly, trying to stretch them, create space, and then, of course, he's there to finish off the winning goal. True poacher's instinct.
Right. The articles were fully praised for him. Clinical, natural finisher. So you're saying it's not just about the goal itself, it's about how he was constantly causing problems for Peru's defense.
Exactly. He's always thinking ahead. You know, he knows when to make those runs, how to pull defenders out of position. That's what separates the good strikers from the great ones. And going back to what we were talking about before, Argentina needing other players to step up besides Messi. Well, Martinez doing this consistently is huge for them.
Yeah, so for Argentina to have long-term success, they need more players like him.
Right.
Willing to take on that responsibility of scoring, even when Messi's on the field.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. Now, on the other side, we got to talk about Pedro Gallese.
Yeah.
Peru's goalkeeper. We already mentioned that amazing save he made on Martinez, but honestly, he was making big saves the whole game.
Yeah, the articles called him a wall. Peru's best player. Some people might say praising a goalkeeper after a loss is a bit pointless, like giving out an award for best dressed on the Titanic.
Yeah.
But was he really that good?
Oh, he was world class, no doubt. It wasn't just the saves themselves. It was his presence, his composure. He was organizing the defense, commanding his area. He gave the whole team belief, even when they were under pressure. When you look at the best goalkeepers in the world right now, Galiz is right up there with them.
Okay, so a potential future star for Argentina in Martinez and a world-class goalkeeper for Peru in Galese. The articles also mentioned Enzo Fernandez, Argentina's young midfielder, pulling the strings in the middle of the park.
Fernandez, he's interesting. Because he doesn't always do the flashy stuff, but he's always in the right spot making the smart play. Keeps the ball moving, breaks up attacks when he needs to. He kind of represents that classic Argentine midfield style, intelligent, tactical, aware, controls the tempo, and he's still so young. He could be a key player for them for years to come.
Right, it seems like every World Cup there's a young player who breaks out. Could Fernandez be that guy for Argentina in 2026?
He's got the potential for sure. He's already starting for Argentina playing for a top club in Europe. If he keeps improving at this rate, he'll be a household name by then.
All right, so we've talked about the tactics, the key moments, the standout players. But taking a step back, what did this match tell us about these two teams, about their journeys to the 2026 World Cup? We talked about Argentina maybe relying too much on Messi. Is that a real concern? Could they become predictable if teams figure out how to stop him?
It's a valid concern, definitely. Something Scaloni, the manager, will need to think about. You can't just replace Messi, though. There's only one Messi, right? It's more about finding a system that's more adaptable, where other players can step up and create chances, and share the leadership a bit more.
So it's not just about finding other goal scorers. It's about creating an environment where players aren't afraid to take charge, even with Messi on the pitch.
Exactly. Now, with Peru, obviously their situation is different. This loss makes qualifying for the World Cup much harder. But even in defeat, they showed some really good things. They were incredibly well-organized, frustrated Argentina for long stretches, and they created some dangerous chances.
Right. The articles talked about their fighting spirit and tactical discipline. But is that enough to make up for their lack of attacking threat, especially against the best teams in South America?
It's going to be tough, no question. But I think this match proved they can compete with anyone, even the world champions, if they play their game perfectly.
So a narrow win for Argentina, but some questions still remain. And a gutsy performance from Peru showing they're not going down without a fight. But before we wrap up, I want to go back to something you said earlier about this match being a microcosm of something bigger happening in South American football. Can you explain that a bit more?
So South American football, right, it's always had that reputation for like flair and, individual brilliance. You think about Maradona, Ronaldinho, those Brazilian teams, just dancing through defenses. And Argentina with Messi, they still have some of that.
You know, that kind of magical unpredictability. But you're saying that's changing.
I think the game is evolving. Teams like Peru are showing you can be successful, even against the big boys in South America, by being super organized defensively, disciplined tactically, and just waiting for the right moment to counterattack. They might not have as much possession or as many chances, but they make the most of what they get.
So it's like two different philosophies clashing. The artists versus the pragmatists.
Exactly, and it makes the South American qualifiers and the World Cup itself so much more interesting because you have these different styles going head-to-head, and honestly, on any given day, any team can win.
Which makes you wonder, could we see a surprise team from CONMEBOL in 2026? A team that maybe doesn't have a superstar like Messi, but plays with that same discipline and grit that we saw from Peru. Could they make a deep run, maybe even win it all?
It's definitely possible. Look at what teams like Costa Rica and Croatia have done in recent World Cups. They weren't the most talented teams, but they were well coached, organized, had a clear plan, and that can take you a long way in a tournament.
So Argentina might have won this game, but they still have some questions to answer about their over-reliance on Messi. And teams like Peru are proving that there's more than one way to be successful.
Absolutely, and that's what makes the road to 2026 so exciting. We don't know who's going to win, but it's going to be a fascinating journey.
Well said. We start by talking about one match, Argentina versus Peru, but we ended up covering so much more. The tactical side of the game, new stars the legacy of Messi, and the possibility of surprises in 2026. It just goes to show you can learn a lot from just one game.
Yeah, there's always something new to discover in football.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. And for our listeners, if you want to read more about the topics we discussed, check out the links to all the articles in our show notes. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.